Artificial intelligence and new digital technologies took center stage at the G20 Summit this weekend, with leaders acknowledging their potential to drive sustainable development and reduce global inequalities. The declaration welcomes progress by the Task Force on AI and Data Governance and praises South Africa's leadership in steering international discussions on responsible innovation. To speak more on this, let's now welcome a Post-doctoral Research Fellow at the Southern Center for Inequality Studies, Letswalo. Good afternoon, Newa. Thank you very much for joining us on the program. Now, let's talk about the potential that lies in digital and emerging technologies, including artificial intelligence, because there's still fear, right? Maybe misplaced, but nevertheless, there are those who remain fearful that AI through automation perhaps could potentially displace workers, possibly widening the inequality gap if nations are not adequately prepared for this era. Your take?
Thank you so much, Mfundo. It's such a delight to have me, and also thank you, greetings to the viewers. I think it's a very fundamental initiative to include the use of AI and digital governance. As you would know, that the world is actually fragmented in terms of the creation of policies around data governance. So if you can take a look at, for instance, the policy that has been advanced in the European Union, general protection on, data administration regulations. And also, if you can look at the YMCA Chapter 9, there's some kind of divergence in terms of how to govern data. So the USMCA advances for a more liberal approach where data is governed in a sense that there's no restrictions towards localization. But if you can look at the European Union, there's greater emphasis in ensuring data sovereignty, the localization of data, ensuring that the data that is processed or harvested within the European Union is processed within the region. So these are the things that, they create divergencies. And fundamentally, they also create what is called a splinternet, which is the fragmentation of internet to regional specific internet. Mm-hmm. So when companies invest, they need to adhere to a standardized, regulation based on the program. And also within the African continent, there's also significant synergies around that. So I think, an approach to include how to ensure the governance of AI, how to ensure the governance of digital data governance, it's very important. And as you would see, the declaration have, provided some of the significant inputs that the world, the multilateral organizations, together with investors, should adhere to. Mm-hmm. We have technology policy facility.
Pardon me for interjecting there. I do want us to expand a bit more on regulation or governance of AI specifically, because we are in that era now. In as much as we're saying that we're going to advance to an even more sophisticated era of artificial intelligence, but where we are now, there are still the concerns that, elementary as it may be, there still needs, or they're lagging behind insofar as regulation is concerned. What is your take there?
Yes, there's a lot of lacking that we have within the continent, especially. As you would know, that right now the conversation and discourse has been around, a one-size-fits-all, where the AI regulations that has been practiced within the Western countries and the global North has rather been advised to be practiced within the African continent and the global South in general. So I think, the emphasis to ensure a harmonized and also a nation and region-specific data regulation framework that speaks to the nation aspirations and also the protection, specifically. So as you would know, this is to avoid data, AI inequality, where the bias of AI, it actually projects the insinuations and the assumptions that the West or the global North might have on the continent. Yeah. So it's to create a harmonized AI governance that speaks to the aspirations of countries specifically, and not necessarily a one-size-fits-all approach, which might, leave out issues such as culture, such as heritage that are fundamental to a country and region.
Mm-hmm. Because essentially that is the fear, that here we could possibly even create that inequality gap if people are left behind. But in that leaders' declaration, emphasis is made on the need to incorporate the voices of developed and developing countries in order to unlock the full potential of AI. Are you getting a sense on the ground that really this is the true reflection, that there is an incorporation of those voices developed and those that are developing, and there is some element of information sharing and willingness on the developed North to share this information? Noah, I don't know if you can still hear me. Oh, unfortunately, it seems that his image is frozen there. It seems we've lost Noah, but most certainly a very important conversation, and we've got the gist of the message there. Most certainly, theirs is an approach that would be more liberal when it comes to the information sharing and the likes. But that's where we leave it for now. That's Post-doctoral Research Fellow at the Southern Center for Inequality Studies, Letswalo, speaking to us.